You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim. I'm the modern kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, still Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi, and my co-host is my good friend, Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, Kyle? Blue collar working man.
I hate that intro to that. Don't you?
I kind of like it.
You do?
Yeah.
That's weird, because usually we agree on these kind of things when it comes to themes.
Blue collar
working man.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Yeah, no, that's not for me. But hey, I don't know if you heard, but still, OTM pay-per-view champion, me.
Yeah, no, I was here.
You were?
We
all were.
It was a great time.
It's one of the few times we've had everybody that's involved in the picks competition in the same room for a pay-per-view. Because Aaron usually is not always with us.
Yeah.
And he's not always in the competition, but he assumed, hey, if I'm on the show predicting, why not join it for the week?
Did we have everyone for AEW last time?
We might have.
At my crib?
Yeah, that might have been the... No, Mikey didn't... I thought Mikey didn't show up for the last one. Mikey was a no-show, wasn't he, for the last AEW pay-per-view?
Oh.
When you had the pizza sliders and all that good stuff?
Oh, yeah, he wasn't there. That's true.
The food spread wasn't as elaborate. I didn't provide.
Your nachos were very solid. Don't
First
undercut
time.
yourself, but those were very good. I weighed in 1.5 pounds up.
That makes sense, because I wasn't cutting back on anything.
Well, you know, I think I was in a good spot with the nachos, and then Mikey didn't bring over the pizzas like he promised.
No.
The Savage. And then,
bastard.
Surprisingly went to a deli at a grocery store
at 6:30
at night
on a Sunday. And they just didn't have anything, primed and, ready for it. Shocking.
So the bag of barbecue chips was hitting a little different.
I didn't know that he even brought chips.
I was eating them by the fistful, and you're trying to track calories and be a good boy. 150 calories for like 15 chips. Well, that's a handful. And when you have 8 handfuls, we call that a problem.
That adds up. And some days I know you like to count them, but you just got to throw a day out the window.
I'm back, it's all about being flexible. So we work hard to get in shape so we can enjoy ourselves.
Work hard, play hard.
Bogus smashed an entire pizza. People forget that.
Yeah,
He's
he
still
did.
in
No,
great
there was
shape.
one slice left. I want to give him credit. He didn't finish the whole. He wasn't a complete savage, but I'm guilty. I feel like if I have a frozen pizza, the whole thing's going down.
Well,
what's the point of making a frozen pizza if you're not going to eat the whole thing?
A reheated frozen pizza? Come on.
Oh,
come on.
I've tried to do that numerous times, and even if you're drunk and you warm it up later,
it's not great.
It's still not good.
It's edible, but it's not
it's
good.
Floppy and it's just cardboard taste. It's not an ideal situation right there. But overall, we had ourselves a good time. We did a little bit of the Rumble drawings. The lottery was going on.
Yeah, that was fun.
I hit on the first one, so that was 3 straight. God. 3, Tuck.
Yeah.
Not 1, not 2. That was my 3rd win in a row, and should have been 4. If we're being honest, it should have been 4. I'm still salty.
It could have been 4.
Should have.
Could have been 4.
Might as well get into that now. On Backstage, they announced Edge was going to be number 2, and Randy was going to be number 1.
Yeah, up until the Rumble, the only thought that I had was Randy Orton 1, Edge 2.
So when we did the drawing, and I found out that I had number 2, I was like, okay, I have Edge. But then we get to the Rumble, Edge ends up winning it, blah, blah, blah. That was number 1. I was a little angry about it. But we can get into that more a little later. We got to keep reminding the people, keep reminding the listeners. And if you're new here, we are a proud member of the Overtime Sports Network on the interwebs at otsportsnetwork.wixsite.com/OTSN, and you can get some OTM merch on the website, Tucky.
Hell yeah, brother.
All you got to do is click the tab that says merchandise.
Yeah.
It'll take you right there. You can get a gray one. You can get a light gray one. You can get a black one.
White one.
White one. I feel like the white might pop with that logo.
Maybe, yeah.
but I wouldn't know because I only have the black one that we previously got.
And I'll probably get a black one again.
Because you're a slim boy now.
Hey.
Yeah, you got to change it up a little bit. I might get the white one, but then again, the way I eat, I'm a savage. So I'll just get stained.
Shout out to Matt Haskell for hosting that again.
That's right.
He does a great job. Get some of his merch as well.
For sure.
Comfy, like solid.
Oh, yeah.
Not super over. You're not paying $30 for a T-shirt like you are on other places.
No.
You get 2 for the price of that with
True.
ours. And they're well-made products, too. So... I thought you were lying about the overtime hoodies, and I'm like, this guy's just trying to get the rub. I got one, and I like it.
They're very I mean, when you got everyone. Erica Marini came out of the woodworks and posted a video about her hoodie.
Yeah.
She was feeling it. Kubaki likes it.
Yeah.
You got one. Nickel just got one. Aaron Oros, David Kepshire. The list goes on and on and on. The reviews are in. OTSN merch is legit.
Yeah, it's on fire right now.
And if you wanted to check them out on Twitter and Instagram, what's the handle there, Tuck?
Easy @_OTSN. That's it.
Yep, that's very simple. 5 characters you have to have. Otherwise, it would just be OTSN.
I know.
It's kind of lame. But, hey, don't forget, this Sunday we got the Super Bowl. And if you're a football fan, there is a Super Bowl special, Mikey's Morning Coffee, going live on Facebook.com/OT Sports Network with one member from every single show on the network besides Wheelhouse.
Well, it's a baseball podcast.
It is a baseball podcast. So there's rumors that Rat might be in, which means he's out.
Doubtful, yep.
And Kubaki, I believe, is busy. So we tried to get everyone.
Yeah.
We did, but we even got a member from Loud Sports coming on.
That'll be cool.
So everybody's well represented there. Super Bowl special on Facebook. Go ahead and check it out. But the reason we are here...
What time is that starting?
My show, the Super Bowl special?
Yeah.
That will be at 10 a.m.
10
So it gives you time.
Central. 10 a.m. Central.
10 a.m.
time.
Central. It gives you time to wake up and then
Yep.
start your day off there because you're going to have a lot of coverage about the Super Bowl. Might as well start it with us.
Get that cup of coffee going. Enjoy it. Enjoy a show with the boys. Cut it with some Baileys if you want to. I don't know. Let's get weird.
That would be a Mikey Wilson move.
Yes.
And then right after that, you can tune into AWI Pod. They'll be live, I believe, at noon our time, which is Central. And you can check out their NXT talkover. Well, they'll be talking about NXT because we will not be talking about NXT this week.
No, we're giving them the dirty work. They do a good job with that podcast and that live show.
Yeah.
And we just chose to cover AEW last night and kind of invest in that. So
It's been a minute.
yeah.
We obviously had almost a month break, and we didn't really get the chance to talk about AEW last week. So we will start with our Royal Rumble recap. Wow, that was kind of hard to get the
Good alliteration. Royal Rumble recap.
We'll get through the quickly that are the title matches and stuff because I want to talk more about the Rumbles. And then we will discuss AEW Beach Break. What do you think about that?
I think it sounds great.
So if you're just here for the AEW stuff or you want to keep listening to us, we appreciate it. But you can fast forward probably about 20, 25 minutes to get to AEW Beach Break. But the first thing we're going to talk about here is what happened on the pre-show. We had new women's tag team champions as Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeated Charlotte and Asuka due to a little bit of a Lacey Evans distraction. I think we all kind of expected this was going to happen, right, Tuck?
Yeah, not surprised. I did pick Charlotte and Asuka from the way I spun the story in my head, but it is an easy way for the two of those ladies to unravel in their tag teamship, which we saw kind of start paying off during Raw as well.
Yeah, and it's still weird, though, because Charlotte obviously is still with the Lacey feud, and Asuka seems to be with Alexa still. So I don't know if that's kind of just getting them until WrestleMania, and that's when we start to see more of Charlotte versus Asuka, or maybe they're going to incorporate multiple women into that title scene. I'm not really sure where they're going after that.
They have a lot of options, but yeah, it is not very clear at this moment. Early February with
Still got time.
in April, yeah. So they can they still have plenty of time to pay it off.
If you were a betting man, who would be the next team to defeat Nia and Shayna, you think? Not much going on there. I mean, you got the sexy muscle ladies.
They maybe them because they're a team. The Riot Squad
was what I was going to say.
I like they're, they broke the Iconics up.
Yeah, the Riot Squad are like the one true
actual
tag
team.
Yeah, so that would probably be my bet too.
Do it.
Nothing special about the pre-show, but hey, we got new champions. And then on the main card, we had Drew McIntyre who defeated Goldberg. Thank the Lord that happened.
Yes.
Very quick fashion there. I would say we got to give props, though, because we bashed the man. But I got to give some love to Goldberg, who actually put Drew over in this one,
Yeah. Well, and it was good for what the intention was, right? What they intended. Let's continue to get Drew over more. And this is another layer in getting him over, and it worked.
Yeah, and you don't need a 10-minute match with these two.
I don't think
because then it gets
a punch.
clunky.
I don't think a punch was thrown.
No.
Spear, Claymore,
and
kick, jackhammer.
Isn't that what we expected?
Yeah.
And honestly, at least with our show, a lot of us were expecting Goldberg to win this and to see Drew. And it was kind of in convincing manner, too. Obviously, I think Goldberg hit 2 spears in this matchup, but Drew McIntyre, ever since last year's Royal Rumble to this year, I mean, the guy's in fuego right now.
Yep.
Getting big wins. They showed the resume of wins that he's had in his title reign. Maybe the best WWE champion we've had in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
You could argue it.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely up there. So good for Drew McIntyre. He retained his championship. After that, Sasha Banks, this matchup we didn't get to predict on the show because it was announced, I believe, the day after we recorded. But she retained her championship against Carmella. And when I was watching that, and I thought it was very entertaining, but I think the feud's probably over. But regardless, every single match that these two have had, it over-delivered, I think.
Yeah, and I think, to your point, it over-delivered because Carmella's getting there. She's on her way. She's getting better, you know. I think she's starting to position herself as a threat, which in the past, she was always around Money in the Bank.
She was like a mid-card women's talent.
You know, more of the personality, but I do think she's starting to earn some cred. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's in the title picture for a while as well.
And I like Reginald. I think he provides a little something there. It's a nice little touch to that character. And I'm sure Carmella will be fine after this, but it also helps having Sasha Banks across the ring from you.
Always.
Because you could argue for pound, she's probably the most talented in WWE.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking men's, too.
Like, all of them.
You could put her in a match with anyone, and it would be hard to disappoint. Maybe Nia Jax, because she might hurt her.
Golly.
But we don't want to.
I don't want to think about that.
We don't want to think about that, because Sasha's a great champion.
Yeah.
She's still champion, and we'll see where they go from there. But the Women's Royal Rumble is what we're going to get into now. A little bit more of exciting action here. Bayley, your pick to win the Royal Rumble actually drew number 1. What was your thoughts when you saw your pick to win the Rumble come out at number 1?
Great. You know, it's after these 2 Royal Rumbles where both winners were early entrants. I guess in hindsight it wouldn't have been that crazy, but you know, you want those bottom 10. You like so when she came out number 1, I'm like, I don't know if she's got the cardio, or I don't know if she's got that gear in her to go the entire
and also story-wise, her going 1 to the end. That's usually a babyface spot, don't you think?
Yeah,
for
she
the 1,
have stole it, right? She should have stole the win.
Yep.
28-30, somewhere in that range.
Can't be 30 because my girl Natalia was 30.
Well, we knew that. Yeah, and
thank the Lord.
Yeah, that kind of took the wind out of the sails.
But after that, you had at number 2 a returning Naomi, which was good to see, and then, like you stated, the winner Bianca Belair coming out at number 3. So that. There's really not a better way you could start a women's rumble with those 3 right there. Those are 3 of the most talented women in the division.
Yeah, and Naomi got her great due. She was in the ring forever.
She's always good in those rumbles.
Yeah.
She's like the Kofi of the women's rumbles now. They've kind of positioned her in that way where she stands out.
Yeah, underrated.
Above the rest, and she has all the cool spots. But Billie Kay was the one that came out at number 4. And honestly, for this rumble, that was one of the highlights because as more and more entrants tried to come into the Rumble, she was doing her recruiting once again. She doesn't stop.
Yeah, and I appreciated this little layer, right? You know, whatever the payoff is, it's not going to be substantial. It's not going to be incredible. But if it's a hard camera focused on the ring watching the Rumble, there's so many things going on that are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Billie Kay pursuing whoever popped up with, it was just a fun little touch, and I'm glad they added that in there.
Every Rumble needs a spot like that.
Yeah.
Like a humor side, something that keeps your attention other than the action, like you said, and all the returns. Because the returns are what people get excited for, and that's where usually when fans are in attendance, the biggest pops are happening. And the guest spots that we got to see in this one were Victoria, Jillian, Tori Wilson, and of course you had to have some of the NXT stars like Rhea Ripley, Santana Garrett surprised me because she barely gets TV time in NXT. That was weird, but Shotzi Blackheart and Toni Storm and all those were in there as well.
You don't know, was Santana Garrett a COVID edition because of availability or this or that, but that was one that is a little bit of a head scratcher given that she doesn't have a ton of rub. When you call back a legend, it makes sense. People know. But
we didn't know who Jillian was.
Oh, no.
None of us did. And I've been watching.
She was my pick. I had Victoria as well. Had Santana Garrett.
Oh, damn. You had all the ringers.
I had a roster, yeah.
You did. That's interesting you brought up the COVID spot. Maybe that was like a spot for reckoning because she got COVID.
Yeah, it could have been.
Mia Yim, and then...
Same thing with Keith Lee. Yeah.
We found out when... honestly, it kind of triggered in the middle of the Rumble where we were thinking, we're like, oh, yeah, Keith Lee's in a relationship with Mia Yim who has it. So
makes sense.
Aaron's pick was just done right there.
Well, and then we'll talk about that later. Jey Uso, where was he?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Well, yeah, we'll discuss that definitely later. I didn't even. He was projected to be in my final four. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we got to see a lot of the NXT women, which was nice. But the final two in the Women's Royal Rumble was between Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, which, like I stated last week, I thought those were the two that probably needed the win the most, and that's what we got to see at the end of the Rumble, Doug.
And, a passing of the torch, a changing of the guard as they eliminated Charlotte Flair. She's on the ground with this, snarky smile, okay, all right, you got me. And the one of the moments I appreciated, they're both sitting on the apron, and the camera sits there. Here are two women that are the future of the division. I thought that was a great touch, and Charlotte was one of my picks. So
yeah, and it was also
my lottery. So I was kind of hoping for that. But
with that camera shot too, how Rhea was verbally saying, "Let's get back in the ring. Let's fight it to to the finish here. Yeah. Let's not do it this way." That was nice because they're both babyface workers, and they're both up and coming stars, and a lot of people are going to say Rhea Ripley was buried. How? She probably had the most impressive Rumble. I think
she did a great job.
And she eliminated Alexa Bliss, who, right before she was going to transition into the fiendish character that she has, Rhea's like, nope, once those lights are going off, that shit's not hitting the fan. We're not letting that happen.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice little wrinkle, too, and it's obviously probably a story they might revisit here in the future.
Yeah, that's what the Rumble's for, right? Let's establish multiple avenues, many different lanes. So yeah, it was a good Rumble.
Yeah, an excellent back and forth too at the end with Bianca and Rhea. That was very, very fun to watch. So Bianca Belair wins the Rumble, making her the first African American female to do so. And now she will get her chance to choose her opponent at WrestleMania, and it's got to be Sasha, right?
Oh, I hope.
It's not Asuka.
No, it's that. I mean, we'll find out.
It's not Io Shirai,
probably, right? But oh man, fun fact: when I first got into wrestling, I was not a big fan of Bianca Belair.
Was there a reason behind that?
The hair thing felt gimmicky to me, and now it's not so much of a factor now.
Well, that was more of her heel character
too. She was beating on everybody with that braid, and I was just kind of But now, she is stacked, lean, strong, very likable.
That's
a great
the huge
story.
Thing. Yeah,
I just want to be on her team, and support her. And
the Chronicle that they released for the network, I think, helps building her even more into that babyface character. And then we know Sasha right now is kind of working as a face too. And I don't even think it's a situation where it would feel weird if we had two faces going at it because they're just two likable people.
Yeah, great versus great. A good wrestling match ahead of us. You hope may the best woman win kind of thing. And that's where you hope you just get a true finish.
And this isn't even a hot take. It could be the match of the night. The way these two perform.
Night, year, month, week. Yeah.
Of that night that they are on, because we got to remember there's 2 nights of WrestleMania this year. But yeah, no, congrats to Bianca Belair. Who predicted that right? Somebody got it right here. Was it Aaron?
Yeah, I think
Aaron
so.
had Bianca Belair. She would have been my other option if it wasn't Rhea, but hey, Rhea got to the final 2, so that was cool as well. But after that, we got to see Roman Reigns take on Kevin Owens in a last man standing match, and I have absolutely loved this feud. And I thought this match it's the ending of it, and I think it was the perfect way to end it. I thought The action everywhere throughout Tropicana Field was exciting. There were some close spots to the 10 count. It was just the perfect culmination of a great feud between the two.
It was a great match, yeah, and I enjoyed that they kind of went to different parts and just gives you something, keeps your attention looking around the arena. Oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah, the
next?
possibilities.
Yeah, different things like that.
Like the forklift got involved and the pallet jack and all that. There was tables everywhere.
Doesn't surprise me that KO actually just knows how to work a forklift, by the way.
Dude, you got to get a license for that thing?
If you want to operate it professionally, you need a
so.
license.
But
you can't. It's just not willy-nilly.
But if you're jumping off it, you don't need a license?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know, just in case I ever want to jump off a
license
forklift.
to kill, brother.
There was a second there where Kevin, I thought, was going to win, because remember that awkward spot where Roman Reigns was handcuffed to the post, and the ref just stopped counting. That was the only disconnect for me in that match, because we were even talking about it here. We're like, that's got to be 10, right? That was 10.
We're on like 18 right now. Now, shout out to Roman for finding a way to get to his feet to kind of, give
readjust.
Corey Graves a way to try to, validate that. And they did do a cutaway, but yeah, just do the bolt cutters.
Yeah.
Just have Paul
Safe.
Heyman run up, pop. There you go.
That's got to be a hard thing, too, with live broadcasting something like that, is when you're realizing that, oh, shit, there's a mishap, there's a quote-unquote botch happening here. You got to word it in a way where it makes sense story-wise,
Yeah. Well,
like, how do you even word that? Like, oh, shit, he can't get the...
look at that guy. The commentators, get shit on a lot.
It's
but
a hard job.
The only thing they're doing is trying to positively react to the hand that they're being dealt in real time. And sometimes it's not great, but I do think Corey Graves did a good job spinning it to try to make it a little less
It's crazy
awkward.
to think, too, that Corey Graves started as a wrestler and he kind of just transitioned to this broadcast role after his injuries, and probably one of the best to do it right now in the business.
I don't hate him, yeah.
No, yeah, he's very entertaining. So that was a very good matchup there. The Men's Royal Rumble is what closed out the show. Edge came in at number 1 and Randy 2, like we already said. But I think the highlight for me, at least for the first half of that Rumble, was Damian Priest would be making his main roster debut at number 14. And Damian Priest, that's just a guy that he's built for the main roster, isn't he?
Yeah.
The look.
And they're based on what happened at Raw, they're going to give him a good push, which is what you want to see when an NXT superstar gets called up. You don't want him to get lost in the shuffle, which made us nervous with Keith Lee coming up. It seems like they've kind of salvaged that a little bit.
A little bit.
When he does his finishing move, the broken arrow, it makes me want to crack a Ray's energy real quick, because they do have. I called it the Falcon Arrow as a joke, but that's called the Broken Arrow, and it's great to, pop open one of those guys.
Yeah, for sure. Damian Priest, I've been a big fan of his in NXT, and now that he's in the main roster, and we even got to see it on Monday Night Raw, him beating The Miz. I tweeted about this, but there's not many other guys on that Raw roster where it's probably considered a bigger win.
Yeah.
Because the dude, Miz, is a champion, tag team champion, Intercontinental, WWE, the list goes on and on. Your first match on Monday Night Raw is beating The Miz. That's a good start.
Right. There are many lesser opponents that could have done less, and it doesn't make sense in his first match to have him beat someone so much bigger than The Miz. I think The Miz is a perfect candidate to get that first win over. I think that was really well done.
And The Miz can eat all these losses with the briefcase.
Yeah.
This is something you do to people that have that briefcase, because it's always in their back pocket, so you can pile up the losses on them and make other people look good. And it seems like Damian Priest kind of has like an alliance, too, with Bad Bunny.
Yeah, interesting.
Who apparently is training in the Performance Center. Did you see that?
Yes.
Kudos.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. It's a different audience,
something.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate it, but Damian Priest, he's a star. And other surprises we got to see in this Rumble, the Hurricane, Carlito at number 8. Did you know anything about Carlito before this?
Very vaguely, not really.
Yeah, he just spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
There you go.
That's what he does. But we also got to see, and this one made me very happy, at number 24, we got to see Christian. And that moment that Edge and Christian had, that's what the Rumble's all about right there, making moments.
It felt real.
And you could tell two brothers reuniting. Apparently, Christian might be working a part-time schedule, too.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Bring it back.
Might as well. And then at number 29, the final return of that Rumble, we got to see Seth Rollins. It happened. But he wasn't burning it down.
No, dang it.
That was a miss for me.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
me too.
I mean, we were still happy when it happened, but to hear the I was like, God damn it.
Oh, you're like, oh yeah, it is Seth Rollins.
He's still the Messiah. I mean, it's great to have him back, and you can throw him into any feud right now, and it'll be great. But I want babyface Seth Rollins. I just do.
Me too. And we don't have to apologize for that.
No,
We're grown
we don't.
men.
I mean, he's a great heel.
Yeah.
But just the Messiah thing was a nice transitional character.
Hashtag that's my Seth.
Yeah. Yeah, get it trending right now. Yep. If you quote tweet this with hashtag that's my Seth, I might buy you an OTM t-shirt. You hear that, people?
Bogus is getting a t-shirt here.
That might.
Okay.
Let me take a sip of this drink real quick. It's a good drink. It's
there we go.
Coke and Knob Creek.
There you go.
For the brand.
Always.
By the way, I like that plug of Raise Energy. Sponsor of OTS.
I'm trying, man. We're working.
You're good at this shit.
Thank you.
The ending of the Men's Royal Rumble, though, Braun Strowman, who came in at number 30, he tried to throw at Edge. But Edge would then take him out with the help of Christian. Obviously, the connection there with the past. And then Rollins would eliminate Christian. Then we had Edge, who threw out Seth Rollins. And, of course, in the back of our heads, we remembered that Randy Orton was never officially eliminated. So he returned out of nowhere to try to take out Edge with an RKO. But then Edge spun that RKO right around and eliminated Randy Orton. So Edge is the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble. And I think the last elimination was probably the stamp on that Randy Orton-Edge feud, wouldn't you say? Especially after what we saw on Monday Night Raw.
Right, yeah. I don't think there's anywhere else to go with it. Close the book, and now we're moving on.
Right guy to win the Rumble?
Yeah, sure.
I think Daniel Bryan would have made sense.
Yeah.
But also, why not when we get to the Chamber, if you're trying to decide Roman's opponent still, you can just have a Chamber match to decide his opponent. Like, those are always fun. A number one contendership match. But Edge has teased facing Drew McIntyre on Monday Night Raw. He apparently showed up to NXT, which we haven't watched yet. We'll probably both watch tonight.
Yep.
So he's teased going after Finn Balor as well. But my assumption is he'll be on SmackDown tomorrow and he faces Roman Reigns.
That's what I'm going with as well, yeah.
Spear versus spear. Edge is a face. Roman's the top guy right now in the company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see Edge versus Drew. Granted, it would be good.
No.
It'd be a good match.
It would be, yeah. But
story-wise, what's the best story available right now?
You kind of want to root for both in the Edge versus Drew matchup. You expect a great match in Edge versus Roman, but you're kind of pulling for Edge because of Roman's character and his work to this point.
What if Edge versus Roman does happen and The Miz waits until WrestleMania to cash in?
I will jump off your balcony.
Don't threaten that. I did that on TikTok one time, and I got a lot of followers because of it. So, but that's something that's got to. I feel like The Miz in that briefcase, nobody's talking about it, but you got to throw it out there. Like, it's always there, and it's not going to be around much longer. But if you're a betting man, I'm going to say that line again. Edge versus Roman Reigns, is that what you're expecting?
Yes.
Me too.
Yep.
And I think that's the one that most people want.
Yeah.
Overall, what would you give the Royal Rumble in general? Teacher grade it.
I gave it a B+. You know, the Roman and Kevin Owens snafu there tainted a little bit. The Rumble winners made sense. Not a ton of returns that make you want to call home and, you know, burn it down.
But that could be because of the times.
And I think it was. And they didn't shoot themselves in the foot.
No.
You know, I just thought it was firm, very solid. I was satisfied at the end of it.
I'd say B as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's some people out there that are saying it's a top 5 Rumble of all time. I wouldn't agree with that. But, I mean, from top to bottom, we were entertained. And what more can you really ask?
Well, and it was nice and lean, too. They also, one of the longer COVID shows, but it didn't overstretch or overreach.
I
or
could
make
tell
you
it
feel
might
like
have
a drag.
overstretched for Aaron Orioles a little bit, but that might have been the whiskey
The
talking.
sleepy boy.
Because his eyes started to droop.
He was at your house for a while,
Oh,
right?
he came here at like 1:30 and started drinking.
And I got here at 4. I mean, I put in a 6-hour shift over here. And,
You did.
And, you know.
Well, me and him started drinking at 1:30.
Yeah.
But hey, I was fine.
Less tipsy than I thought you'd be when I got here. Because you gave me the warning. You did.
I
give me
did.
You might run into a tipsy.
So
Liard
we're gonna
over
start.
here.
Yeah, I might be tipsy by the time you get here, but I wasn't. I was tipsy like mid rumble, but I maybe my tolerance is just too high right now because I never was like drunk or anything.
Yeah.
And I finished those Trulies. I had Knob Creek. It was a good time though. Good rumble.
It was.
Got to spend some time with the bros, and now the next pay per view we have to look forward to is Valentine's Day Takeover.
Yeah.
Will you watch that, or will you be busy?
Is it on Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's Valentine's Day. And
Little
I know you got
date
a wife.
with the lady.
Date day.
She'll probably. I'll just try to do a date on
Belt's gonna
Saturday
be
or
on
something.
the line.
Yeah, I can't wait to
Yeah, you haven't
retain.
defended that since Nam.
No, it's been a while
I'd like to get
before
that back.
Halloween.
You're gonna be playing it safe. I know you. When we get to that takeover,
Absolutely.
it's gonna be safe tuck over.
I got to try to keep some kind of gold here.
That's true because I got 2 of the 3 belts that we have to
You
offer.
have one
here
and a
to-
half of the 3 belts.
Well, 1 and I go.
yeah.
that check
You
out.
physically
half.
have 2.
So half.
You own 1 and a
Of
half.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, math. All right. That's all we got from the Royal Rumble. We're going to finish the show with some AEW Beach Break talk. And the first thing that happened on that show was the Tag Team Battle Royal, where the winner would earn a shot at the Young Bucks titles at Revolution. When I saw the tag teams involved, I personally wanted Santana and Ortiz to win because they feel like the most deserving and true tag team that was in the mix there. You could maybe argue Jurassic Express, but when you were going into this Battle Royal, who was the team that you wanted to win to come out of that?
Oh, wanted to win?
Wanted to win.
Yeah, I always like Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Wanted to win, maybe Private Party because I just really like them.
Yeah.
But I thought in my head I didn't think Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy would win because of what seems to be a singles push for Jungle Boy.
And they also kind of have a thing with FTR right now.
Yep. I appreciate the rub they gave the Acclaimed and Top Flight.
Yeah. Top Flight was in there to the end.
Yeah, and I appreciate that they didn't strap a rocket to their back, and they still have a little bit of work to do. But I didn't go into it with an expected winner, honestly.
No, I didn't either. I was just wanting... for some reason, it's just like... And I think it might have to do with the fact that the Inner Circle has multiple tag teams now, that I appreciate the OG tag team of the Inner Circle.
Yeah, the actual tag team.
And they seem like a tag team that's kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Like, they had their big debut at, what was it, Double or Nothing? 2019 or something like that. And they attacked, I forgot who it was, but they had a big debut in front of a crowd. And after that, it really hasn't gone anywhere. But the story told in the Battle Royal was that the tensions between Sammy Guevara and MJF / Chris Jericho continued. And Jericho was the one, though, that secured the win for him and MJF. Seems like a slow burn we're getting here between Guevara and everybody in the Inner Circle, huh?
Yeah, yep, definitely. Again, a lot of ways that it can pay off. So I do appreciate when you start adding people to a faction, it can get muddied. And again, Santana Ortiz are kind of at the expense of that. Not a ton going on with Jake Hager.
No.
Wardlow is potentially great, but he's around too. But there's a lot of layers, and we'll see how it goes.
That's the one that bothers me, is that Wardlow's kind of...
Wardlow's the man, yeah.
We've stated it numerous times, and I know Ryan Bogus is with us. Hell, Mikey Wilson might be with us. We're big Wardlow guys. Like,
yeah, well, and here's the thing.
Let's go.
They have so many young guys, like, for the future. It's going to be crowded for the next 10 years.
And maybe that's kind of why they're relying on the veterans to start as a company. Just to build the foundation, and then you build up all those young talent that eventually will be the ones carrying the brand. So from that point of view, yeah. But overall, what do you think of the Battle Royal itself?
It was all right.
Yeah.
They do a lot of eliminations where they just yeet a guy over the ropes
With nothing to it.
Yeah, so I thought there was a lot of routine eliminations, and that is what it is. But.
Yeah, it was just all right to me. I thought the feud, obviously, between the Good Brothers and Private Party is continuing, and then MJF and Jericho are obviously on their heater now. Like, they seem to be clicking on all cylinders. But the Impact relationship I appreciate because we're getting a lot more talent in AEW. But for somebody like me who doesn't watch Impact, you don't watch Impact, do you?
I don't have the time. How can you watch everything? It's hard.
And that's why I think all the extra storylines that are involved in these matches, and especially this Battle Royal, it's a lot to keep up with, isn't it?
Well, and it can almost become intimidating. Like, I missed last week's Dynamite. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to watch NXT because I know what's going on.
Fair.
Obviously, it hasn't hurt their ratings. If anything, improved. Impact's getting a rub from it as well. But personally, on my end, not super looking forward to AEW every single week because I feel like I've missed out. And there was a lot of mental catching up I had to do last night even.
Connecting the dots.
Yeah.
That's virtually what you're doing there now that they have this working relationship. And it's not just Impact, and we'll get to it at the end of the show. New Japan seems to be involved, too, in all the mix, especially with the women's tournament that's coming up.
Yeah.
There is a Japan side of things. I do like that,
Emi
though.
Sakura.
God damn it, I knew.
Let's
We
go.
haven't said that name in so long.
I
Emi
can't
Sakura
wait. Yeah.
versus Hikaru Shida?
Yes.
I mean, the story writes itself.
It's going to be a banger, dude.
Man, that's going to be great for you. Nobody else is really going to care. But, yeah, the Battle Royal was okay. It happened. But after that, we got to see Darby Allin and Sting. They came out to address their street fight that they're going to be having with Team Taz at Revolution. And I tweeted this out, too, at Too Sweet Kyle. This is a feud that I think is going to drag only because they are extremely limited on what they can do physically with Sting. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I agree.
Haven't we seen Jumbotron, Team Taz, and Sting and Darby in the ring already like 3 times?
Yeah.
How are they going to get to March 7th? That's my question.
Yep.
No, it's really confusing. Like, AEW is great. Like, we enjoy watching it, but there's just certain things where it's like, you probably announced this one too quick.
I agree.
Or maybe you have Darby face off other people, like Ricky Starks. Maybe he faces him in a couple weeks for the title.
Yeah.
But instead he's facing Joey Janela randomly.
Right.
Why?
With Team Taz like threatening to be there and Sting says, I'll be there too. And it's like...
And it goes back to our thought process. Like, it's connecting a lot of dots. Like, it's trying to figure out what the plan is.
Right.
And obviously that street fight's going to be cool. Like,
you know, they're going to do a good job with it.
They will knock it out of the park, but I don't know. The segments, you've seen it before, you've seen it a million times.
Yep.
Anything else from this that you want to comment on?
No, sir.
All right. So after that, we actually got to see a good women's match. And
absolutely.
For those listening, that is rare in our opinions for AEW. We had Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. And bravo. Absolutely bravo to these two. I'll let you talk on it first because I have a lot to say about it because I'm a big fan of both these ladies.
Well, from a technical standpoint, it hit. You know, both of the ladies can go. Maybe you start watching that match with the AEW women's tempered expectations and it over-delivered, but I've come to expect good matches out of both of them.
With these two,
Britt
yes.
Baker and Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
That is something that you look forward to on a pay-per-view type thing. And they went out and they got after it last night on essentially free TV. It was a good match. Yeah.
This might be a hot take, but at least for me personally, this was what I thought was the best women's match we've gotten in AEW to this date.
Tell me a better one.
Can't. It probably had Britt Baker in it, though.
Probably. Yeah. Honestly.
I mean, the odds would say that Britt's a part of it. I think it's more of a chemistry thing because it's not like this was the best ever match I've seen in general. It's just that the story was there. We know the story behind the two. The in-ring back and forth was there. And Thunder Rosa's style, the aggressiveness and the hard-hitting action, that's easy to get behind, you know? Like, as a babyface, she paints her face, which is cool for the younger audience. And she has this aggressive, mentality. How can you not like Thunder Rosa, you know?
Well, and again, she lost, but she was knocked out cold, right? Lifeless. I really enjoyed the selling at the end there too.
Thanks to Reba. Yeah, they don't even know how to pronounce her name because they have a new pronunciation for her every week.
Ruby
Riot.
Reba.
Pick one, Ruby Riot or Reba.
Ruby.
Fair enough.
I guess.
I don't know. It's not like they're anything outstanding. But no, I thought Britt also in this match, and in general, she just plays that heel role so well.
I agree.
And the character's great, and the new touch that she has with the glove, that's a chef's kiss right there. So that match, I hope we see more of that, because Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, that was awesome.
I agree.
So what's the future plan, you think, for Thunder Rosa? Because we know she's not officially a part of AEW. Was this the last we maybe see of her, or
if it better not be? Is she in the tournament?
I think she is. I think she's on the American side.
Come on, they better get it right.
Let me see if I can pull up the tournament. But yeah, no, Britt Baker getting the win here. At first, I didn't think she was going to win. Going into this match, I thought they were going to give it to Thunder Rosa, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
that would make sense either way. I'm glad that Britt actually did win, though, because then there's a little bit more of the chase and the heat. So
I'm really trying to find this, but I keep. I mean, the names that we know are like Aja Kong, Yuli Sakazaki. That's the Japanese side, but on the American side is Britt Baker, Ty Conti. Thunder Rosa is a part of that.
Anna Jay,
so
Layla
we're not
Hirsch.
done. Dark Horse Anna Jay in that tournament for me.
Yeah.
I don't think she wins it, but I feel like she can have some matches. Maybe Ty Conti.
Yeah.
And Britt's involved in it too. So hopefully that tournament's what kind of brings the women's division back.
Yeah, please.
Because that's something that they've been dying for sure. And then after that, we had Hangman and Hardy. They faced the Chaos Project. And the only thing I have on this one is I think Matt Hardy's already had more gimmicks in AEW than he's had in WWE.
Yeah. Just, opening up the suitcase, pulling out whatever he's got. Big money, Matt Hardy. Oh, okay.
Take Quake, and I think you're going to agree with me.
Take Quake?
Yeah, this is a Take Quake.
Okay.
Big deal.
Got it.
I think Matt Hardy's overrated.
Absolutely. I don't think that's very quakey.
Now, maybe I should rephrase that, because we missed the boat, obviously, on his earlier times.
I did not.
Okay, you were part of the childhood Attitude Era. He was great in that. Obviously, Jeff's 100%. The one that shined.
Yes.
And the character work with the broken gimmick before he re-signed with WWE was great.
Yep.
For Impact. But
as of right now,
with
AEW,
keep him in the backstage.
He's just not doing it.
Keep him with Christopher Daniels.
I agree.
I just don't want to see him on TV. And he's a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
It might sound rude that we're bashing him, but name one thing he's done great in AEW.
He had the one thing. Remember when he
floated across the stadium?
There was I wasn't even talking about that. But the other you know what I'm talking about.
Did you see Tony Khan commented that he wishes he could redo that all over again?
No.
He said he did not like the way he presented Matt Hardy in that.
Well,
I think we would agree with you.
Yeah.
After that, we got to finally see the wedding between Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, who looked amazing. Absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. I got to say that.
A woman on her wedding day, just as fit and as tight as you'd want it.
Did you know that they actually got married there?
Wait,
like
actually?
That's legit. Yes.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah, so that
we gotta find the registry.
Yeah, that you're registered, aren't you? They could have had you out there.
I could have done it. Yeah, I was talking about their wedding registry to
Okay.
send them a gift. But I am an ordained minister. Very affordable rates if anybody's looking. Usually I'll just do it for like booze and
$69.
stuff.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like $69.
You could tip it. Hey,
just give them the Venmo right there, so you could support OTM. If you're supporting Tuck, you're supporting OTM.
That is correct.
That's the way we look at it. But honestly, for me, the wedding itself dragged a little bit, but it's a wrestling wedding, so how can you not be entertained with the weirdness that is wrestling weddings,
Yeah, it just something to mix it up a little bit. It is what it is.
So after all that wedding hoopla and them actually getting married, Miro was a little paranoid with all the gifts that were ringside based on his past history with WWE. Which I kind of enjoyed that little touch.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
So that's like a layer you need to know if you remember Rusev in WWE. But after all that, Chuck Taylor was the one cuffing his ankle to the corner. Orange Cassidy comes out of the cake and helped ruin the wedding with Chuck Taylor. And not a bad segment, but not the greatest either. And I was kind of expecting more from Miro here,
Right.
Didn't you think there was going to be some kind of payoff for Miro in this segment?
Yeah, and but going into it, as much as they mentioned Charles the Butler and Chucky
D.
as many jabs as they put on him, I expected something to come from that as well.
So obviously that feud is still happening. Best friends and Kip Sabian, Miro. After that, is it now the time to go to Miro as a singles star? Or
Please.
Because,
Please.
it's entertaining, but it's Miro, it's a.k.a. Rusev. Like, you got to...
Come on.
Time to go.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, for sure. And the guy that they're going with, it seems like, is Lance Archer again.
All right.
Because we got to see a lumberjack match between Lance and Kingston. I thought it was way too short for these two especially, because I think we both can agree they're great in their own way. But once again, it's nice to see Lance Archer getting some more momentum. He kind of had a couple months there where he was just floating around.
Just stagnant,
But he's got a win over Kingston here. And he's actually going to be in a tag team match next week with Jon Moxley against Kenta and Kenny Omega. That's pretty cool.
That's one of those things you want to tune in for sure.
Lance Archer. I'm trying to compare him. Who would you rather have on your roster, Lance Archer or Braun Strowman?
Lance Archer by 1,000,000. And I like Braun Strowman.
You do. That seems like a good comparison, don't you think?
Yeah, very. I agree.
Two big When we saw Lance Archer at Warrior Wrestling a couple months ago, like, TV doesn't do it justice. That dude's huge.
Same thing. EC3 too. Like, it was this. I saw him in person, and you're like, oh my god, why was he not on TV more?
EC, that's one of the ones that disappointed me the most. Of the guys that kind of floundered in WWE, like his second run. EC3's great.
Yeah.
What's EC3 doing now, though?
Indies.
Is that what he wants to do, I guess?
I don't know.
Maybe he'll pop off somewhere, because it seems like a lot of people are popping up.
Yeah.
Especially in AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Main event, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers were taking on Rey Fenix Jr., Pac, and Jon Moxley. I thought the main event started off a little rusty. And I know Ian alluded to it as well on Twitter. A few mishaps, you could call them botches, from Jon Moxley. Did you notice any of that?
Yeah, it wasn't as tight as what you've come to expect with him, but for me, it did not tarnish, the evening or the match as a whole.
Was it your match of the night, you think? Or did you like Britt and Thunder?
Britt and Thunder, that was my match.
Yeah, that was mine as well. But I think it found its groove towards the middle. And for me personally, Rey Fenix Jr. was the one that shined the most, I think, in this main event, because he showed...
Unsurprisingly, by the way.
That's true, because, you have big names in this match. Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, Gallows and Anderson, Pac. He's a huge name in himself, but the things that Rey Fenix can do in the ring, there's no one else that can replicate that.
And he's just butter smooth. He pops up, does a great job. You're never surprised. You sometimes forget. Sometimes you forget about it. He's sneaky. And you're like, yeah, he is really good at what he does.
And it's quite the weapon to have on your roster, too.
Yeah.
Because you can pick and plug him in any spot, and all right, that match is going to slap. Like,
yeah,
he can't disappoint. And you paired him with Pac and Jon Moxley, obviously two of the best in the company. I thought it was very entertaining, but the Good Brothers would hit the Magic Killer at the end for the 1-2-3 to get the victory here for him and Omega. And after the match, things started to hit the fan. Lance Archer would hit the ring and clear out Anderson and Gallows. Then we would get a pretty big moment here in AEW's short history. Kenta, formerly known as Hideo Itami for the WWE fans out there, appeared, and he laid out Jon Moxley with the go to sleep to close out the show. That's something I did not see coming, Tuck.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming either, and I was not very familiar with this gentleman. The announcers did a good job kind of getting me into it. I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Apparently, Kenta, and I don't watch New Japan, but I believe Jon Moxley might be the United States.
Yeah, the IWGP United States.
Yeah, so they're having that feud there. So not only is it seems like AEW is working, obviously, with Impact, but now you're getting a little bit of New Japan in there.
Yeah, and it's a good way to keep your talent close and also keep them happy by giving them other exposures as well to build their own individual independent brands, which is not something you see with WWE.
No, it isn't. And WWE doesn't need to work with anyone like that. It's WWE. They're their own thing. But AEW, man, and this is what I appreciate about their shows, is you really can't truly predict what is going to happen.
Right.
It feels like every single Dynamite you could get caught off guard. Like when Miro showed up, Kenta, Brody Lee, Matt Cardona, that one show. Like, where the fuck Matt Cardona been? Zack Ryder.
He's not with AEW.
No, he never signed, so he's not there. But Kenta is a guy I knew in WWE when he first got introduced. He was an NXT superstar, known as Hideo Itami, and he was another one of those guys that was kind of underutilized. And then they put him in like the 205 Live scene, kind of a shorter guy. You know how WWE treats those smaller guys.
We'll see, buddy.
So that's why he kind of didn't have any success in WWE. He went back to New Japan. And here he is. I'm sure him and Dean Ambrose have had matches, or Jon Moxley now have had matches before, but it's another guy you throw into the mix of things with the Good Brothers, with the Kenny Omega thing, and you just have so many different connections now in AEW.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no better way to say it.
Yeah, there isn't. And overall, Beach Break, is this a 2-week show? Are they dragging this out?
I don't know.
I don't know either. What do you think overall of Wednesday night's show? Because we haven't really dove into an actual Dynamite like this before.
Firm, not over delivered, but not a joke by any means. I think you got a little bit of everything, and I was good with it.
This was week 69 of the Wednesday Night Wars, by the way. And I just Googled this because it might as well fill a little bit of time here at the end. Wednesday's Beach Break edition of Dynamite drew 844,000 viewers, which is a lot more than last week. NXT came in at 610,000, and that means they were up 38% from last week. So AEW was ranked third in all of cable television. NXT ranked 51, and AEW was 63rd overall.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive rating right there from
no kidding.
AEW. And obviously, these theme shows seem to do well.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a good selling point, but we haven't seen NXT, so we can't really judge how it compared to NXT. Remember when we used to do that?
Yeah, weekly. It was aggressive.
Did you guys like that, people listening right now?
Let us know.
We could bring it back if you want to.
We're not afraid to.
We're open to anything, by the way.
Yeah.
So, like, if you think, hey, this shit.
Let's get weird.
Yeah, like, we'll do anything. So, that episode, like I said, got in the 800 marks. That was the first time they've actually done that in 2021. They were in the 600s on the 6th, 500s on the 13th, 6, 7, 6, and then this one was the first 800-plus that they drew in 2021. So, overall, I think that might do it for us here this week. What do you think, Tucky?
Yeah, good Royal Rumble. AEW was a solid show. We're on our road to WrestleMania. We'll see where we go from here.
That's a good feeling. The road to WrestleMania.
Yes.
That's where things get exciting. Mm-hmm. And you got to think, too, AEW is probably going to be pumping out some great shows, too, because they know WWE's hitting the pedal to the metal.
We got to go.
And we got Revolution. I believe it is March 7th.
Yes.
You got NXT coming up on Valentine's Day. Like you always say, Tuck, I'm going to quote you here. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan.
You know it. Absolutely. Thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you follow the Overtime Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram @_OTSN. And follow us @Pod on the Mark. You can give me a follow @JimTuck89. You can follow Kyle @TooSweetKyle.
Too sweet.
Thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling
Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for an F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter @PodOnTheMark.